Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Estate Makes Us Drink. Brian Quinlan here from Daniels Real Estate.
And Brad Nickham with Nest Mortgage Group.
Brad, we have upped our game,
We have.
I feel.
Well, the people that I wanted to hire to hold our mics, they're busy on Thursdays. So I couldn't get them. So you found these awesome adjustable microphone face extenders on Amazon.
And ideally, the sound is better on this episode than the previous. And I want to apologize to Fred Nichols. Fred was a great guest, and I didn't want to have to bring him back in to record the episode again because it was a really good one, and the sound kind of sucked.
And Fred's liver's not like ours.
Okay.
Not being in real estate, he doesn't have the same livers that we do.
Huh. I never really considered the condition of my liver for the show.
I'm going to tell you that you should.
I should.
I actually thought I had a liver problem a few years ago, and I called my friend who's now my doctor, and I said, hey, Chris, I think I broke my liver. And she's like, you didn't break your liver.
By the way, hello, Chris.
Hey, Chris. I've been abusing my liver for a long time.
Right.
Not on purpose. I guess on purpose.
Well, I mean, no one made you drink it.
Right. No, I took that back. I owned it. It's my fault.
You didn't go to college. No one made you drink it.
So she sent me, had all these tests done, and then she said, I have a liver like Charlie Sheen's. So I'm doing fine.
That means it works hard.
Yeah, it does.
But it's functioning.
It's functioning, yeah.
Well, congratulations. By the way, cheers, my friend.
Cheers to you, too.
Look at your little glass. That's adorable.
Yeah, it's a tequila glass.
Does that match your tequila shirt? Which you can't see on the show over there. It says Respeto, which on the back, you certainly can't see this. It says Additive Free Alliance Advocate 2024.
Drink good tequila, people. Don't drink garbage. Okay?
I hear that every week from you.
And you should be learning. You should know. Like the next time you're in Total Wine and you see somebody walking to the counter with like maybe a Casamigos or a Don Julio, just knock it out of their hands.
Oh, wow. So who's going to be more pissed off at me at that point? The person that I knocked it out of their hand or Total Wine because the bottle hasn't left the store? Am I paying for it either way?
I'm going to say you have a collective problem.
I'm paying for that bottle either way.
Well, I don't think it'll break because those, it takes a really thick bottle to hold liquor for some reason.
I hit hard.
I'm sure you do. You are definitely a monster man.
That's very false. Very false. So what tequila are you drinking today?
Today I'm having a little Santo.
And Santo's been on the show before.
Yes, it's a Sammy Hagar and Guy
Fieri.
Fieri.
It's not that hard to say.
I say it wrong though every time. I don't know why. I should think he's a little trashy, like a Fiero. Fieri. That should be an easy way to remember it.
Wow. Just trashing the Pontiac brand.
No, I like Guy. I think he's awesome.
I'll transition into my beverage today, which is from Goose Island Beer Company.
Is that a real island?
No, because it's in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah. Summertime, living easy, German-style Kolsch. I've not had this before.
German-style what?
Kolsch.
That's a word I don't even know.
Well, neither do I. And I'm assuming I'm saying that correct. K-O, and it's got a little symbol over the
I
O's.
hope you're right, because you correct me on everything I say.
I'm not counting on you to correct me. Either way, Goose Island, located in Chicago, and it's a summertime, which, except for the rain today, I mean, it's summer still. Weather's
Thank
nice.
Goodness it's summertime.
I'm digging it.
Man, and here's the thing. We're going to blink 3 times and it'll be August.
Could very well be.
So summer goes so fast because it's fun.
Agreed.
Winter goes slow because it has no redeemable qualities whatsoever.
Zero?
Zero. I can't think of anything I like about winter.
Huh. Okay. I mean, you do spend part of January in Cabo. Does that not count as a good part of winter?
This year I did. I don't normally.
That's not a normal thing.
No, we had a friend retire.
Okay.
And they
he doesn't
wanted
retire every year?
No, he's already retired.
Okay.
I don't know if you can re-retire.
I suppose if you go back to work, you could.
I mean, he's not Tom Brady.
Brett Favre?
Brett Favre.
I'm going to say Tom Brady really ever retired. That was bullshit.
He kind of did.
He didn't. He didn't take a year off. He literally came back the next year and just went to a different team.
Well, that's true, but he announced a retirement. But Michael Jordan did the same thing.
Oh, that's true.
And did he play baseball or something?
He did. Came back to basketball, left, then came back to basketball.
So, Garth Brooks retired, and then didn't
did
Garth
not know.
Brooks try to play baseball? And then, unfortunately, Garth Brooks just came back to music.
Well, I'm not sure Garth was ready for baseball.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for Garth to come back. I'm
No,
ready.
you're not a Garth fan?
No.
Huh, interesting. I figured, you're more of a country music guy for sure.
I'm a country music guy,
but not Garth.
Politically, Garth aligns in a way that I go, really, just sing songs, right?
Just sing, dude.
It's what happened to John Hoosier Melon Balls.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I didn't want to know that the song Crumbling Down was actually written about democracy in America collapsing due to Ronald Reagan.
I had no idea that
I
was
didn't either.
the case.
I watched a video and then I went, oh, another guy I don't like.
Cross him off, then.
You're like, you want to see John Cougar? No.
Nope, no, I don't.
Just so you know, I edited that because I can't even jokingly say what I was going to say because I wouldn't have edited it. So
All right.
keep that all to myself.
So you shall. Okay. I want to talk a little business.
Okay,
'Cause that's
so
what we're here to do.
Want to draw this in. We've only been talking for a few minutes. I can't see the clock because it's too far away and I'm old.
Yeah.
This may be our earliest transition into mortgage and real estate information.
Yeah. That's probably true.
Sorry, Fred.
But we often record like 2 episodes in one day. We actually recorded last week on this one. So,
Right.
when we recorded last week, the Fed had met and ultimately said they weren't raising rates.
Right.
But then I think it was the next day the jobs report came out, which had an effect, did it not?
You're kind of close. Both of them had an effect, actually.
Okay.
So the Fed did say they're not going to raise or lower the Fed fund rate, which we all knew that.
Yep.
The market had already built that in. But part of what the Federal Reserve has been doing that's hurt interest rates is what's called quantitative tightening.
You're going to have to dumb that down.
Did I say that word right?
No, you did. You nailed
Okay,
the
'cause
words.
sometimes
but
I get-
We're going to need to dumb that down
I
for the
get
people.
chastised by quantitative tightening is when they are doing things to tighten up the economy or tighten up the money market and to slow inflation.
Okay.
So
Let's leave it at that. Slow inflation. So,
I was all done with that part. I was
sorry.
already-
I felt like you were going to carry on.
No, I was already moving on. I was like, and he's like,
Get the
nope,
train a-rolling.
Shut up. Lose your train of thought. So during quantitative easing, which is the exact opposite, that's where they did things to speed the market up, like lowered the Fed fund rate.
Okay.
So one of the things they did during COVID. What they did behind the scenes that a lot of people didn't know that drove interest rates super low is the fact that they were purchasing mortgage-backed securities and treasuries in the numbers of trillions of dollars per month.
It's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. I wish
Per
I had
month?
it. Per month, yeah.
Jeez. Would you want trillions of dollars?
Maybe for 1 month.
I guess. All right. Sorry.
Okay,
Carry on.
can your bucket be too full?
I suppose.
Really? Think of all the people and the good things you could do.
Oh,
the
for
people
sure.
You could help. And think
Yeah.
of how you could ruin so many family members.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah. I wish my family would have passed on land,
Uh-huh.
and wealth instead of dyslexia, mental illness, and alcoholism.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are unfortunate inheritances.
We all have our cross to bear. So anyway, during quantitative easing, they were buying all of these mortgage-backed securities. In other words, flushing money into the economy, right? So in doing that, the economy was at a halt during COVID, so they
Right.
had to flush money in. And then that's what caused our inflation, right? We gave people money. We gave PPP loans to keep businesses
There's only
paying
3
payroll.
letters. It's PPE.
PP.
Sounded like you said like 4 or 5
PPP
P's there.
PPP
PP loans, got it.
PPP loans. So they gave those out. That put money in the economy, and that's what created inflation, right?
Okay, yeah.
So to slow that, what they do, they started selling off those bonds that they bought, taking money out of the market, and they started raising the Fed fund rate. That's quantitative tightening. So even though they announced they weren't going to lower the Fed fund rate, they did announce, starting in June, they're going to reduce the amount that they are reducing their balance sheet by. In other words, they're going to stop selling as many bonds.
Oh, okay.
From the number of, I forget the number, unfortunately. It was something trillion.
Okay.
Down to 25 billion. Okay,
That's a big drop.
That's a big drop. And then the difference of what they were selling off, they're going to take that money and start purchasing treasuries.
Okay.
And the United States government is also purchasing treasuries. They're doing treasury buybacks.
Okay.
So that's going to put money back into the market. So
Okay.
if you think two things they did to cause interest rates to come down, they bought bonds and they lowered the Fed fund rate. Now they're going to go back to buying treasuries. They're going to stop selling off so many bonds, which will take some pressure off of that supply and demand.
Okay.
And we should see interest rates maybe ease, not necessarily come down. Don't everybody now wait to buy a house.
Easy.
Hold it up there.
Don't hold up to buy a house. We want them to
Right,
buy a
I'm
house.
saying don't wait. Like, don't
Yeah,
think,
oh,
okay,
yeah.
now things are changing. No, this just is going to maybe stop the climb.
Oh, that would be great.
Okay, and then they did say that they probably won't lower the Fed fund rate this year. So what that all does is it makes us see the fact that the economy is truly slowing down. Inflation is starting to get a little bit of a handle. And maybe now we'll see a little bit of easing in the marketplace interest rate wise. And then, of course, the BLS jobs report.
Yep.
I still can't think of a good initials for BLS.
BS jobs report.
Yeah, I just have to put the L in there.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know what it is. Loser, the only word that comes to mind. So the jobs report was supposed to show that we had like 243,000 new jobs created.
Yeah.
And there was only 175,000.
That's not as many.
So that shows they missed on that number. And they reduced the amount of jobs created from March and February by another 22,000. So,
Okay.
And then average hours worked, those dropped by like 0.2%. Average income earned dropped another couple percent. So those are other signs that maybe there's only this many new jobs created, but now these companies went from working 80 hours a week with overtime to maybe now only 59.
Oh, well.
So that's another piece of the economy slowing. So those are all good signs if you're looking forward to a recession.
I think most people are just looking forward to paying less for things, interest rates coming down. That's the hope.
Yep.
Though, as we've said before, high inflation hasn't stopped people from spending.
Oh no, people
They're
are
still buying stuff.
People are still buying homes. People are buying cars.
Yeah.
But what you have seen is that the higher levels of income haven't been affected in the same way that I know it's tough for people out there that 2 years ago. I forget the number. It's like 2 years ago, what $100 of groceries is now like $289 in groceries. So
I just wonder how they come up with those numbers.
Well, they go to the grocery store
That's
and then
not
they
what I mean.
remember what they wrote down. And they look at the price and
You think they remember it? Okay.
well, they wrote it down somewhere. I mean,
Somebody did.
this is a pretty novel thing, but when you want to say something in a show and you want to remember it, you write it down. So they just wrote it down.
Okay.
But you think, everybody says, oh, prices are going to come down. Prices don't come down. Prices, if our goal is 2% inflation, that's the goal. That means that prices are only going up 2%.
But they're still going up.
Yeah. So, the news likes to say, oh, housing prices have come down because the median home price has come down. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with pricing. It has to do with the homes that are available in the market. And, when they say something like, oh, when inflation slows down, home prices are going to come down. No, they're going to go up slower.
Exactly.
And go up slower is better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But there's this mindset of, I'm going to wait to buy my, milk until it's back under $1 a gallon.
It's not going to happen.
Ever.
Right.
Unless you get a cow. You get your own cow.
That would help. I mean, the initial payment of the cow, I suppose, might be pricey, but
Every
once you
once
have
in a while,
it,
where I live, sometimes you see a cow wandering. But you'd hate to come in the house, and be like, hey, I milked the cow, and like there's a missing bull. Wow. That ice cream tasted funny.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, after that round of interest rates talk,
Yeah.
we need some shots, bro.
You want to do shots?
Well, you told me we're doing tequila.
I like
Sorry,
now that
Fred.
we've been able to work and create a job where we create some income that we can have shots and it actually be shots. Like I remember when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money when we were kids, so my mom would say, "Do you want a bowl of ice cream?" And I would say yes, and then she'd pour milk in a bowl, and then she'd have me come in there, and she said, "Well, you waited too long; it melted," because we couldn't afford ice cream when I was a kid. So that's how we did it.
That's an interesting story.
I thought you'd like it. What tequila do you want to do?
What tequila do I want to do?
No,
well, none.
You pick what
No,
want.
you said earlier it's tequila. I picked. Well, Fred kind of picked last show.
Well, you pick this show.
Dude.
I pick tequila all the time. We'll make this part of the show. It's What Will Brian Choose?
Yeah. How about the moon drops? That's local. Let's do one of those.
I had a much cooler way to do this, but he didn't want to do it. Okay, this is made in Fortville, Indiana. Oddly named that, but never had a fort there.
Well, that is interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure some kids have built forts, but
Well, of course.
wasn't part of their name. So Moon Drops is in Fortville. They actually have a bourbon. They have a peppermint moonshine. Have you tried that one? I sent that home with you. Had an extra bottle. So you
Maybe.
Yep. They have a dreamsicle.
Ooh, that sounds
That's
delightful.
the ice cream that we bought as
Yeah,
kids
yeah.
that came in a toilet paper
Oh,
roll.
man. No,
So-
those weren't Dreamsicle.
That was a push-up.
Correct.
Yeah.
Dreamsicle was an orange freezer pop with
You're right.
some sort of
Th-
white
so
cream in the middle.
to me, it tastes like a push-up.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they have
Both good. I love
I
love
it,
me
but-
some
Yeah,
push-ups
if
too.
right now, the only thing to tear me away from this podcast would be if I heard the ice cream man coming down our road.
You'd run out there?
Uh,
Does the ice cream man ever come down your road? My guess would be no.
No, but if he did,
Comes in my neighborhood.
does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it a creepy van or is it a good one? Because
They've upgraded those.
I seen one last year. It was like, holy cow, what is that guy selling? So
You know, the
it
somewhat
puts the lotion on
newer
the skin.
The somewhat newer thing that I've seen, at least in my neighborhood, is a Snowcone truck
Yes,
that drives around.
like the Hawaiian ice thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
That's pretty neat.
I'm a huge fan of Snowcones. So.
Are you? Big
Oh,
snow
for
cones?
sure.
I kind of like. It's kind of like a snow cone. I call it a margarita.
I do not. So while you're pouring that, there is a snow cone company recently formed last year. You actually know the family members here. 6 Degrees Snoballs. You know Suzanne from KW.
Yeah.
Okay, well, her daughter and their family started a New Orleans style snow cone company that I didn't even know that was a real style.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
It is a shaved ice kind of deal.
Does it smell like Bourbon
You
Street?
have to, you get a block of ice that has to sweat a certain amount or whatever, and then they start shaving up. It is the softest snow cone ever.
No kidding.
And super good. So shout out to 6 Degrees Snoballs, Lauren Calvert. Hello, Lauren. It is absolutely my favorite one.
They should serve those to us on the show.
Well, you know, they do come to my neighborhood and do some stuff. We've had them twice out to my hood, and they're fantastic, and they're really cool people. It's called 6 Degrees Snowballs because they have 6 boys that have all gone and are going through Center Grove. They're all athletic kids and super awesome. So they spend a lot of time out at Center Grove football, Center Grove baseball. It's crazy.
Sports.
I don't know how they find time to run a snowball business too, but super good. I'm gonna just again 6 Degree Snowballs. Big fan.
I like that you said that the ice had to sweat.
It honestly
Which
it is.
I call that melting.
She's described it to me one time, and I saw like this big block of ice that as you look on the exterior, I guess, layer of the ice, it's clear, but the center of it is still kind of the opaque white.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know how they know when it's ready to go, but it literally has to be kept like at a certain temperature that it's kind of sweating. It's weird.
The ice cube goes,
We are sweating over here. But yeah, it was the most bizarre thing the first time I had that last year. I'm like, this is soft. It was like almost like eating cake. It was so weird.
huh. Well,
So yeah,
that's impressive.
it really was.
I've never been like I said, a snow cone person unless it's got margarita in it.
All right, so what are we doing here?
100 proof,
100 proof, great.
I think.
Is
Is it 120 proof?
Oh my word!
Or is it just
Does it
100?
say it on the bottle?
The bottom of the bottle there. What's it say?
59.5 ALC doesn't actually give a proof on it.
Well, 59% alcohol.
That's a lot.
It's more than 100 proof.
That's more than half. What are you doing?
I was going to light mine on fire, but my torch isn't back there.
Ah, shucks. Well,
cheers, my friend.
Cheers to you, buddy.
Enjoy this.
Oh, into good times. It's going to burn in it. Wow. Whoa. Holy moly.
Welcome to corn whiskey, folks. Your
torch is over there.
I'm going to wash that down with some tequila.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow. That was,
Wow, why did I choose that?
well, that's not for kids.
No, my goodness, that is something. Well, God bless you, Moondrops Distillery.
It does, it actually does taste really good in Country Time lemonade.
Ooh, all right. Now we're talking adult
Yeah.
lemonade.
Yeah.
I'm in.
It would be.
That I will drink.
Maybe we do that after the show's over.
Maybe we do.
So I think you've wrote down a lot of stuff.
I do.
I don't know.
I got pages of notes here.
I don't know if there's any. I don't know if I have any other content. I think I'm just watching you do the rest
That's
of the show.
okay. You're gonna chime in undoubtedly.
Do I do that?
You do.
Sure.
And that's okay. So, in my recent newsletter, also called Real Estate Makes Us Drink, and if you want a weekly free copy of that, drop a comment and I'll put you on my email list. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. I read it every time I get it. You have
I appreciate
some
that.
very good content. Every once in a while, I steal some of it and put it on my Facebook.
Excelente.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks.
I never credit you.
So that's okay too, because I don't. No, actually, I do credit those that I steal from,
Yeah.
and I don't really care. So, anyways, this week I saw an article. The start of the article showed that of the 50 largest metro areas in the United States, prices for homes had not dropped in all 50 of those.
And how long?
And that was the first time that had happened in nearly 2 years, which is pretty significant when, you live in our world and, you deal with buyers and getting loans or whatever. People want prices to be coming down. They think at some point prices are coming down, and that is a clear indication that that's not happening. And so,
It goes to what we were talking about.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I bought my house in 1997 for $139,000. No matter how much I want prices to come down, I'll never
You don't want it to
sell
go
my
down to
house for
139?
I'll never be able to buy this house for that. So
For sure.
That's
What
it.
I have here is what I believe to the general consumer could be somewhat confusing information. Because we know that the general consumer who may be in the housing market is hesitant to jump into the housing market for a number of reasons. What are those reasons, Brad? Why would someone at present time be hesitant to jump in?
Well, people think that home prices are going to come down. That's one thing I hear. I hear that all the time. Actually, these are my favorite words. Man, I'm going to wait till the housing market crashes like it did in 2008.
Well, folks, it's not 2008, and the scenario is not the same. What else is keeping people from?
Interest rates. People are scared of these interest rates.
You probably hear that more than the other.
Not as much anymore.
Okay.
It's gone away.
It's gotten more normal.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? And people thought, rates are going back down to 2. Like, there's people that actually had this, mainly younger folks who don't talk to, like, my parents. It's funny, I got a call from my mom, and my mom called me yesterday. Hey, Mom, she doesn't watch this. My mom doesn't know where YouTube is.
My mom has no idea either.
It's like, Mom, I'm on YouTube. Well, you're not on my tube. We don't have a tube anymore. It's a flat screen.
That's fantastic.
So anyway, my mom does not speak like that, though. She's from Northern Indiana.
That's okay.
And
It's
she
still great.
sounds like a little old lady.
In my head, that's how she sounds. Okay,
not a guy
continue.
from Appalachia.
So you talk to your mother.
So she called me yesterday on an accident, so we talked. And
On accident.
She did. She's like, hey, I butt dialed you. I mean, she didn't say that either.
Awesome.
She just pushed the wrong letter. So we talked a little bit, and she's like, well, how's business? I'm talking to her. I was like, things are good, and she's like, somebody said interest rates are high. What are they, like 13?
Oh.
And I was like, no, there's 7. And she's like, well, those people are dumb because that's not high. but that's a person who bought a house in the 80s at 23%.
Yeah.
That's a person who didn't believe that 2% interest rates were, a real thing or the future. Now, not that they weren't a real thing. They were. But
They were.
Not the future.
Yeah.
So generationally, I talk to younger people that think rates are just way high. I talk to people that are potentially getting out of the locked in, and which is what we call someone who owns a house with a low rate that doesn't want to sell. They're starting to realize, look, this is what it is. Oddly enough, though, the millennials, not to make any more fun of that generation than we already do, the millennials have this a lot of times more of a view that rates are going to be that low again, where the Gen Zers that are buying a house, which have lots of 20-year-olds getting pre-approved to buy a house, they're like, my rent is so expensive that interest rate doesn't matter. It's such a switch in the way that they're thinking to the way the millennials are thinking in their view of that. And I don't know if it's because maybe when they're 21 or 22 today, and when rates were really low, they were 18 or 19, and they weren't really thinking about it. Right?
Oh, for sure.
There's got to be a difference of why they think that. But there's so many 20-year-olds that I'm getting calls from that are just like, we're ready to buy a house, we're young, we've saved up a little bit of down payment, and our rent is ridiculous, and I'm not going to give my landlord, $100,000 over the next 10 years.
Yep.
So it's really cool to see. And you're seeing them, they're being called the tool belt generation.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm having a lot of kids that, I say kids because I'm old, so don't be offended by that.
We are old. Our ages start with a 5.
Yeah, dude, I'm so old.
You're older than me, though, so
Yeah.
you're old.
Yeah, so at any rate.
Tool belt generation.
Tool belt generation. These kids are making 23, 22-year-old kids making $60,000, $70,000 a year and no school debt.
It's awesome. And
It's
And
awesome.
they're going into trades. Is really,
Yeah, they're going trades.
That's why they're called tool belt generation.
They're doing trades. They're working at, some manufacturing facilities. And when you think of the old, slinging a hammer in a foundry, I mean, I know those jobs are still there too.
Sure.
And those jobs are needed. I'm as a bricklayer, folks, so don't throw stones over here because I get it. It's about doing those jobs that you like.
When you were a bricklayer, did someone throw a brick at you? Ever?
I did have a guy back me up to the back of a scaffolding.
Oh, my.
Building the
Eiffel Tower?
Plainfield Middle School.
Oh, okay.
We were building the gym.
Okay.
And I was a young buck, and I wasn't a union mentality guy. So if somebody needed something, I got it. We got the job done. And this old school guy grabbed me, held me to the back of the scaffolding, and put his trowel right to my throat.
Oh, my gosh.
And I told him, you better stick me. Because this ain't going to go well for you. And I was a huge, muscular, 125-pound kid. And it was an ugly deal. And he got mad, and he climbed down the scaffolding. So I climbed down the scaffolding, too. Now I was ready to fight. And the owner of the company, David Whaley, came up to me and said, did he do what they said that he did? And I said, yes, sir. He said, come with me. And we walked to the pickup truck and pulled the checkbook out. He wrote that dude's last check, and then he let me give it to him and fire him.
Oh, my. That never happened to me in education. But anyways.
No brick thrown at me, but.
Yeah, no. Okay, so, sorry. I got you off track there with the whole brick thing.
You did.
Or throwing stones.
Yep.
Kids nowadays are.
They're killing it.
Kids, the 20-year. Yeah.
And I'm excited for that generation. And
undoubtedly.
To have, I think there's been a bit of a shift of if you don't go to college, you're going to be a loser. And
that has shifted definitely.
And I do think there was a time period that's what we talked about.
Undoubtedly.
Not mad at the educators. My family I have a bunch of educators.
We've been through that.
And God love them. But there was this mentality of if you didn't go to college, you were going to fail. And now you've got this rush that everybody thinks they have to go to college. And we forgot about the guy that owns the plumbing company that has 200 workers and makes $2 million a year as a successful business owner.
Statistically, those who graduate high school earn more than those that don't.
Correct.
Statistically, those that graduate college earn more than those who don't. But the mentality, as you said, has shifted towards something other than college.
I think the college statistic of them earning more is starting to shift as well.
Could be. I truly don't know that.
Because you have so many people now that have graduated college that aren't getting a job in the degree and really struggling with all this debt. And then you got to remember there are guys like Dave It started Wendy's with, an 8th grade education. And there's many of those, through our, actually, if you look at the top guys, the biggest, wealthiest guys, they usually dropped out of college at some point.
We can name several of those large companies where they didn't finish college. Anyways.
We got way off track on that.
We're going to go back to this. All right, so the confusion of the market for the consumer. I'm going to read off some statistics here, and hopefully
do you want me to chime in with little
feel
pieces?
free to chime in whenever you want. So this is based, some of which is based off of year-over-year statistics.
Okay.
Some of which is based off of this month April compared to March.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are you going to talk about median price?
I will.
Are you going to explain what that is?
Feel free. I like math, but go ahead and explain what median means.
So the median home price, in some cases, in some cities, actually came down.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean home prices have came down. And that's a big misconception. They even say it, on the news, which I get so mad at all the time, and I do these off rants, and then he edits them out.
Right.
Hopefully. But the news talks about, the median home prices come down in this area, and that means home prices has fell. No, that means higher price homes aren't selling at the rate of lower price homes, so more lower price homes sold in that month than higher price homes, and that brought the median price down. And one of the things that's happening in the construction world nationwide is builders have figured out that the $500,000, $600,000, and $700,000 larger homes are selling at a much slower pace than your $350,000, $400,000, and $250,000 homes, which are smaller homes, are selling at a higher pace. Why? Most of our market is first-time home buyers, not move-up buyers, and the first-time home buyer is not looking for a 5-bedroom, $600,000 house. It's a husband and wife, 2 jobs, no kids yet. They're most cases millennials in their 30s. Since right now the average age for a home buyer in America is today, what age is it?
I actually don't know.
It's 36. It's actually gone up 2 more years from the 34 that it was. So if you think about a 36-year-old looking to buy a house, they're not looking for a $600,000 house as a first house. They're buying the lower house. So builders have figured out, let's build more of that, and that has lowered the average new build or median new build price of a home. And people are like, it's happening. Home prices are coming down.
Well, median mathematically does mean middle. So
why don't we just say the
middle
price?
It's just the middle price. It's not average, because average and middle are not the same thing.
Nope.
So take it for what it's worth. It's a number to use as a comparison to whatever you want it to be. Right?
It'd be like saying I'm the average weight for somebody my height. Actually, I'm more than middle weight for somebody my height.
So anyways, first statistic, mortgage purchase applications, which is your world, were down 2% from the previous week. Now, that is a week comparison. How are mortgage purchase applications for you in general? You may not know a specific number.
I don't have a specific number, but I will say that this week's far busier.
Okay.
So
I would say that statistic would have come from last week compared to the previous week.
So the last week and the week before, it was slow.
Okay.
And I'm a 4 to 5 pre-approvals a day.
Yeah.
And I was like 4 pre-approvals in the week.
Okay. So there's that. So mortgage purchase applications were down. Touring activity.
Did they say what mortgage refinance applications were?
No.
Year over year, 24 months.
Well, and honestly, they may have. I only picked out the stuff I want to talk
year
about.
Year over year, it's only down like 3%.
Okay.
But year over year, 24 months. So year over 2 years, down like 87%. Like
2022 is a little different, right?
Yeah.
And 2021. Touring activity, which is important for my world. So that's the number of people who are making requests to go out and look at homes.
Oh, to go so it's showing.
Exactly, showings. Up 33% from the start of this year.
No, I can see that.
Exactly. And it's not unusual. I mean, January and February are usually slower in real estate world, and it usually picks up into the spring. And of course, now we're into April and May. Spring breaks are over. People are nearing the end of the school year. They're trying to get this in before vacations, that kind of thing. Not unusual. But it's interesting that is up, but the mortgage purchase applications are down. It's like, how does that necessarily balance out?
Some of that could be people have been pre-approved for months, right?
How long is a pre-approval good for in most cases?
Pre-approval is good for 90 days.
Okay.
But the But if you're getting your pre-approval re-upped, it's not a new application. Like you're just updating some stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you look at those pre-approval applications, I have a person right now that's getting ready to that's about ready to be cleared to close. And when they called, they said, "Hey, what do I need to do to up my pre-approval? I found a house." And I pulled up their thing, and the last time I did their pre-approval was 5 of 22.
Oh, so it's been a while.
Yeah, they've been looking for a house for 2 years.
Man.
So there's a lot of
amazing.
people in that group that looked, thought rates were
Yeah.
going to come down. They stopped, thought houses weren't going to, maybe my rent's going to be less. And now they're back in.
Happen.
So some of those applications could be because they've been pre-approved for 30, 60, 90 days and they're buying houses. So that could be your flip-flop.
So median home sale price. And because we live in Indianapolis, I'm going to focus on this area. Okay.
And if you don't live here and you're thinking of moving, this is a great one to move to.
Nationally, it's higher. Actually, let's do a quick there. The median home sales price was $383,000 last month for April. In Indianapolis, specifically, sale price $295,000. So almost $100,000 less to live here in Indianapolis.
They're giving away homes.
I mean, seriously, come on to Indy.
Yeah, we got low taxes. We got great winters.
That's false. Actually, winters aren't bad here.
This one was awesome.
Yeah, for real.
One of my
We
favorites.
don't get a ton of snow here. So that $295,000 was up 1.7% from the previous month. But from this time last year, that's up 5%.
Yeah.
Now, that's not unusual when you think of traditionally, historically, the price of homes increases usually, or value of homes increases usually 4 to 5% annually.
I would say 3 to 5. Yeah,
there you go. So 5% over the previous year isn't bad. But if you're paying rent and getting nothing out of that, where you could have owned a home that in the last year has gone up 5%, you're missing out.
Just to add a little piece to that, it's a common conversation that we're having in today's market is tax time.
Oh, yeah.
Tax time just came out, and a lot of people's
I paid
taxes
mine.
have gone up.
Yeah.
Oh, not the income one, the property one.
No, I paid that
You
too.
pay that too. Yeah. Well, you own your house free and clear, so you've
Correct.
got to go.
I had to write a
For
check.
those that actually have a mortgage, and then they have to have an escrow. They don't,
Right.
And some people don't know what their taxes are. But if you're renting, right, and I've had a lot of people go, well, my landlord's just greedy, and he keeps raising my rent. Like, well, did you know every year taxes and insurance go up? And this year, property taxes in a lot of areas in Indianapolis went up a lot, or Indiana, not just Indiana, a lot. And that's going back and affecting that renter because the landlord goes, man, I'm not eating that.
For sure.
So when that lease is up, man, I'm raising these taxes, or raising the rent for these taxes. So
Yep.
it also makes you think when you go vote for that referendum, you could be saying, I agree with this referendum, and I would like my property taxes to increase. Remember that.
True story.
Yes.
So median sale price for all of the MyBor Indianapolis area, $295.
So that's
Now,
the Donut Counties plus?
it's essentially central Indiana. I think we
Yeah,
can
there you
probably classify that as that, right? There are certain counties in Indiana that are significantly higher. So Hamilton County, so
People love to live in
the
Hamilton.
Carmel, the Fishers,
You
the
said that wrong.
Westfield.
It's Carmel.
I apologize. Their average median sale person their median sale price $441,000.
What about the Big Johnson?
The Big Johnson, where I used to
Hey,
teach?
that's Johnson County.
That is $305,000 for the entire county. But if you live in the, I guess I'll say more prestigious Center Grove area
Center Grove.
of Johnson County,
Love it. Let's go to the game.
$360,000 was the median sale price. So, when we say $295,000 for Central Indiana, there are always pockets of any area you look at that's going to be higher or lower by a lot or by a little. And there are, you think about parts of Marion County where, I can find a house for $70,000 or, less. And
Yeah, you can.
you can.
The thing is when you lock yourself out of that house, you have to have a welder to cut the bars off the window to sneak back inside.
That's correct. That's tough. All right.
That
So
is tough.
So that's median sale price. The median asking price for a house nationally, $420,000.
Wow, how much money do you have to earn on average to afford that size of a house?
6 figures.
Yeah, I'd seen something the other day on the news, so I don't know if it's real, but it was
Right.
$124,000 was the
Yeah.
minimum income to purchase a house in the United States.
New listings nationally was up 15% over the previous year.
How many?
That it actually didn't give me an exact number for the nation. I do have Indianapolis though.
Okay, so for the nation, I didn't see the number, but I've seen how many months that we have of inventory.
Yeah. I have
So-
that as a stat too.
Normally, we have about 1.2 years worth of inventory.
1.2 years.
Yeah, so 14 months of
Okay.
inventory. And I just seen a statistic that we have less than 4 months. of
In
inventory.
fact, the months of inventory is at 3.4.
I said less than 4.
A
yeah.
balanced market, because that's a seller's market.
Right.
Balanced market is 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
In Indianapolis, 1.2.
That's what our months are?
Yes, which is down 13% from the previous month. That's not good. Which
No.
that's an issue that we have. Like I said, touring activity is up, but mortgage purchase apps are down. So less people making an application for a house, but there's more people looking, right?
Yeah, but I think
Comparatively.
that's a skewed number because interest rates did that spike.
Oh, yeah.
And that slowed people from jumping in, but there was already people in. So I think that's a little bit of a irrelevant.
Sure. One of the things that I talk about in real estate land is lack of inventory, and I'm not the only one. A lot of realtors around here do. We have only 1.2 months of available inventory for people to buy, yet kind of goes back to our inflation talk. People are still out there trying to buy.
It's amazing. I closed. So in April, out of my closings that I had in April, I think more than 30% of the deals I had were at least $25,000 above the list price. So people think, it's a buyer's market now, right? It's slowed way down.
No, it is not.
No, there's people buying, over list price, and not only in the high dollar amounts. I had a client trying to buy a 339 who went 355,
Yeah.
and still got beat. And
Man.
a 355 house is not. That's in that pocket.
So while new listings nationally were up 15%, it's actually this past April was, let's see, fewer than any year on record other than last year, 2023, and 2020.
Yeah, when you say up year over year, well, we had the same problem last year. So you almost have to do that 3 years or 4 years worth to go, okay, now we're coming back to normal.
Yep.
Our real estate market right now is about as normal as me.
That's the thing. That's kind of where I started this, is things are just confusing.
Yeah.
And it depends on, I guess, what your source is and who you hear it from. You might think, this is, not a good time to get a house, or you think now is a good time to get a house. It can be very confusing.
Statistically, the best time to buy a house?
Well, when you were born, or
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
so
right
that
now.
means buy right now.
There you go.
I mean, there's
Now,
never a bad time to buy a house.
Let's shift that over to this other graph that
Oh, the
won't
graph's
be up
not
there.
going there.
That's right. This other graph
Is it right here?
that compares rent price over the last 60 years.
Oh,
and I
that was a
understand
crazy
that
graph.
that's a huge span, but just kind of going back, comparing it to price appreciation over the last 60 years of real estate.
Can I ask you a question?
You can.
In your rental graph, is there ever a year where rents went backwards?
No,
Okay.
actually, if you look at the graph, it does continue to rise over the last 60 years.
I looked at it with you, and you know what it reminded me of? Do you ever watch The Price is Right?
I do. Oh,
You ever watch that game?
The Mountain Climber?
Right? Can you do that?
Can I yodel?
Can you yodel?
I cannot yodel.
Oh, damn. That would have made
I know,
comedy
that would've
gold
been
right there.
great,
We'd have picked
right?
up like 9 followers.
So, okay.
That's what the graphs look like. It looks like the mountain
Occasionally
climber.
you exercise.
Me? I
Yes.
exercise all the time.
Do you ever do mountain climbers?
No, I don't like those.
They're one of my least favorite exercises,
Yeah.
number one. But number two, every time I do mountain climbers, I think of The Price is Right.
Do you yodel while you're doing it?
I don't, no.
Do you ever do burpees?
I won't do burpees because I hate burpees with a passion.
I don't. You say I don't exercise. I haven't recently because I've.
You look great, though.
Thank you. But I am getting ready to train for a marathon.
Getting ready to? I think we've been talking about this since January.
I'm really getting revved up. It's warm enough to run outside
Okay.
now. So, and then also, I'm going to start on Monday, and you can hold me accountable to this. I'm going to start the 30-minute-a-day P90X workout.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to do P90X.
Some of those
all
are
the
more
time.
than 30, by the way.
No, there's a 90-minute P90X workout. That's P90X1. P90X2 was like more like a 60-minute, and then P90X3 is more of a condensed 30-minute version.
Huh.
I've done them all.
I did P90X.
I'm going to do them again.
Back in the day.
Yeah, that's how I went from fat to fabulous. So I weighed 260 pounds, and I wasn't any taller than what I am right now. You like that one?
From fat to fabulous. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I went from
That's
260 pounds in February of 2012 to 172 pounds in October of 2012. I counted every calorie. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just count them all. And then I did P90X, and I ran at least 5 miles every single day. And I would run mini marathons on the weekend on my treadmill. And I was really, I was afraid of dying. You know, none of us
didn't
wanted.
think that was going to kill you?
No, being really 260 pounds at my height was going to kill me. Like,
Sure.
I was the perfect weight for an NBA
Honestly,
player. Not Muggsy Bogues.
For as short as you are, being 260 had to be a stout.
Man, have you seen those
Brad
pictures
Nickel.
of me from the Super Bowl?
No, we'll have to look at those.
Gosh, I'm a man beside myself.
You ought to post those everywhere in your house as motivation.
I look at them every once in a while. I like to show them to people because I think it's funny. I probably should give you one to like flash in here somewhere.
It's your choice.
But it's so bad I probably shouldn't. I don't want people to vomit or leave the show. It's really bad. So I did P90X. I mountain biked every day. I ran every day. I counted every calorie with MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
And I lost a ton of weight. And then 172 for 170 pounds to 175 pounds for about 8 months, which
Nice.
meant I didn't
Very
eat
nice.
anything. And I still like to drink, so that was mainly my input of food.
That's the hard part.
And then I actually bounced up to 185, and I stayed there for like 4.5 years until I hurt my knee and I couldn't run anymore.
Oh,
so now I'm back to working out and training and counting calories a little bit. And tequila calories don't count, though. There's
True story.
negatives.
Can I go back to the graph?
As long as you leave from fat to fabulous.
There's no
When you
chance
show
I'm
me
editing that out. So as the graph shows, okay, now
Where's the graph at again?
this does say that this is over the last 60 years, and I only use that because whoever created the graph started there.
Yeah, but you should. That's a good thing. Like, you don't want to have it over the last 5 years because
Sure.
it's skewed. 60 years gives you a great platform.
Fair. So if you look at the graph here that shows rent over the last 60 years, the early part of this graph is 1960. It shows rent being, and this is the monthly rent, being under $100. So I'm going to fast forward to 2015 just because the way the graph is laid out, it's easy to find the 2015 mark. In 2015, monthly rent was over $900. I don't have an exact number, but it's less than $1,000. It's more than $800. It's about halfway-ish.
It's getting there.
It's about $900 or so.
And what year?
That was 2015. So just 8 years ago. Well, I guess at this point, 9 years ago. But the most recent data on here is 2023, shows that rent is nearly $1,200 a month.
You know, what people made in 2015 was a better living lifestyle than what people made in 2023 due to inflation. So
Okay.
not only has that graph gone up so much in cost, but people's earning power has come down as well.
Well, there you go. That's important. Thanks for filling that in there.
Oh, no worries. That's
So
what I do
if
here.
you paid $1,200 a month for rent, over the course of a year, Brad, how much would you wind up paying in rent?
14 grand.
Exactly, over $14,000.
2-year landlord.
Exactly. And what do you get out of, like, what do you own after that 1 year? Absolutely nothing, right? Correct.
Think if you live there 10 years.
And there are people that absolutely do that because they think home prices are too high
Or they're going to come
and
down.
interest rates are too high, and I'm just going to hold out and wait. So I'm just going to, I don't want to say piss away $14,000 because, you know, they are getting a roof over their head, but they're not getting anything in return on the back end of that. Okay. So let's look at the other graph, which is price appreciation of homes over the last 60 years. And this is based on average sale price. So back in 1963, when this graph started, the average sale price of a house was under $25,000. It's incredible to think about, under $25,000. But then, when again, using the same time period, fast forwarding to 2015, the average sale price of a house, and this is nationwide, $350,000. That's a lot of money, right?
That's a lot of money, yeah.
Especially compared to 1963.
And if you were an owner in 63,
oh my gosh.
it's like those memes of the baby boomers, like this older guy's doing like this dance, and it says he's realizing that he bought his house for 2 cans of Aquanet and a box of raspberries, and now he sold it for $3 million.
That's exactly right. So, sorry.
Wow.
I'm doing a little
You
math
just
here.
did head math.
I did. So, in 2023, that average sale price of a home went from $350,000 to nearly $500,000. That is an increase of 43% in a short 8-year period. So, I mean,
Man, that's better than Amazon stock.
just think about the people who rented for those 8 years, who I'm sure where they started at, $900 in rent and went up to $1,200 or more and now have nothing to show for it. I'm sure that if they could go back in time, it would be, hey, I really wish I had owned a house because I would have, improved my financial status in that amount of time.
And let's add this. We're not shaming renters.
Undoubtedly,
Right?
we
'Cause
are
not everybody that rents can buy a house. And not everybody that rents knows they can buy a house.
And, I mean, truly, my son is paying rent right now. Well, that's all he can afford,
Sure.
And not everybody can afford a house. So, sorry, I cut you off.
No, I do that to you all the time. It's my MO. But if you think about it, sometimes you may live somewhere and be a little bit transient. I've got a job. I'm going to be here
Yeah.
2 years. Do you buy a house? No.
No.
You just rent, and then you figure out what your next steps are, right? My son is the same, Logan. He's down in Gatlinburg, and he's not going to stay there forever, so he rents. So, again, it's not bad to rent. There's a lot of situations, and I say it sometimes when we talk about down payment assistance. Remember, we said that was one of the things. That's funny. When we talk about
there today.
No, I know. We talk about like down payment assistance programs, right? Some of those have some negative on the backside.
Yeah.
So maybe it is better to rent until you can get to the position to buy.
And because a lot of people who pay rent and may struggle to get a house, they would look at down payment assistance. And I know several down payment assistance plans that you are stuck in for 8, 9, 10 years, and you're not going to be there 2, 3, 4 years.
Right.
That, while it seems like a great deal on the front end, it's a horrible deal on the back end. So, sorry, continue.
No, you're dead on. And another piece is, buying a house, the most expensive part of owning a house is not your down payment.
It isn't.
And the most expensive part of owning your house sometimes is not making the mortgage payment. Because one of the things you realize, although you may have danced up the driveway of your new house and you're fired up, you're not giving your landlord any more money, and the furnace breaks.
I like your dance.
I know. I work on those. The tequila helps. But when you think about that, right, if you're not in a situation where you've got yourself financially in a place to buy a house, and one of the things that I see it scares me with some of my buyers is they're draining 100% of their savings and checking account to buy this house. And I think, I know you got a home warranty, and I know we've got insurance, but man, every time my wife got pregnant, we were shocked. I mean, every time. And
not mine.
you probably planned it.
We did.
You were smart. And we were like, what do you mean you're pregnant?
Again?
Damn. Our friends would be like, well, we've been trying to get pregnant for years. And I was like, we've been trying not to. Like, we'd sleep in different rooms. We didn't drink. We never drank out of the same cup back then.
Ah.
We didn't know how it worked.
Rightfully so.
Anyway, but if you think about how your life changes, how things change in your life, and having the house is great, but if you're not in the right place, maybe now's not the right time. But the important thing is to have an advisor or a mentor or somebody that you can call and go, look, I want to buy a house, and I don't know what to do next. I don't know how to get that started. That's where you make a call to one of us or send us a message or I never know where that.
Leave a comment.
I never know where that thing is at.
Just point down, Brad. That's all that matters. That's good enough.
So then, if you call and go, hey, I want to buy a house in a year. What do I need to do? Man, I spend more time with people who can't qualify for a house today. They can, because it's all about the direction and knowing what to do next. And on the same note, if you're a youngster, right? Is that a good term?
Sure.
I didn't know if that.
I'm 50. I'm not offended by youngster.
Hey, youngster. You're a youngster to me.
If you say it like that, it's offensive.
If you just started that job and you're trying to put yourself in the right position and you're not taking advantage of your corporate 401k,
oh man,
I'm so surprised at how many people that I talk to that I didn't do my 401k. I'm like, oh, it's free money, folks.
Oh, absolutely.
And putting that money in there now makes you rich later.
Sure does.
And if you want to know how to figure that out, we had a guest on our show named Colin. He's a great financial planner, can help you make those decisions and help not only move you from maybe being a renter who can't afford today, but putting you in a position where you become a homeowner and you can create some generational wealth through knowing how to save, invest,
such
and live
as
the future.
I mean, simply by living in the house, you're gaining money. I mean, granted, you do have to take care of the house. You can't let it go to shit, but.
Right.
You know, you take care of your house and live there, you're going to get more out of it in the end than you put into it.
I know, but how many of these houses do we go to that, it's in probate? The people lived there since 1997. They were like my wife and I.
Sure.
And then they died, and the house is going up for sale. And we say the words, well, it needs updated.
Yep.
Right? It can go FHA, but it needs updated. But if you go look at what they bought it at, $42. And even though it needs updated, it's for sale for $345,000. If they'd have updated, it'd been $370. Right? I mean, think about it. Just get into a place where you're growing some generational wealth.
Undoubtedly, that's where it comes from. I mean, people hit it big in stocks. It happens, but
sure.
it's not the norm.
Right.
People get into a job where they increase their salary over time, and some of them hit it big.
They teach, and they get tired of teaching, and then they decide, I'm going to make this jump into real estate, and they become a true mogul in real estate in the Indianapolis area.
How long does that take?
Man, I couldn't even understand what my life was going to be like, right?
How long
Isn't that what you said before we started?
I did not. Oh. 4 years later, that's not the case.
Happens.
Anyways,
it happens,
so there are anomalies that happen, but traditionally, I would say, in order to gain the generational wealth that you're talking about, it involves the real estate that you probably live in, and maybe you buy an investment home here or there.
Easiest thing you can do to create generational wealth is buy a house, because you can't go buy a stock and live in it. Right?
Yep.
There isn't any investment that you can buy and that becomes the thing that you have to pay for anyway, right?
Yep.
I know in the multi-level marketing world, we used to say, well, you got to use laundry soap anyway, so you can build your business.
Sure, yeah. Everybody uses that.
And some
trash
kind of
bags.
things, those are similar. Those are kind of true, but to buy a house and live in it versus renting, and it grows in value and creates wealth, it's a no-brainer.
Undoubtedly.
But again, it's like spaghetti. It's not for everybody.
Do you like spaghetti?
I love
You can't
spaghetti.
eat it.
Yeah, I have to eat the gluten-free spaghetti.
That's a bummer.
You can't tell the difference in pasta.
For real?
Pasta and Oreos.
Interesting.
Those gluten-frees, can't tell the difference.
I'm going to throw some props to Stephanie Quinlan. Over the weekend, she made some gluten-free pancakes.
Yeah?
That were straight up fire,
Did
man.
it taste like sand?
No.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not gluten-free. I enjoyed them.
Some of the
syrup might
gluten-free
help.
stuff, it tastes like sand.
No.
It doesn't taste like sand. It has the texture. Like I have a hamburger bun in there. It's like, oh, tastes like bread. It's like, it feels like sand.
That sounds terrible.
It is. Yeah.
I feel for you gluten-free people.
So we're going to wrap up because we've probably been on here 2 hours or so.
A little bit.
So let me ask you a question. This last weekend was a fun weekend. It was the weekend of the Kentucky Derby.
It was,
the 150th running of the Kentucky Derby.
And you're aware I'm not a horse race guy. However,
he only likes sports.
I almost always watch the Kentucky Derby.
You do?
Just because it's a big race.
Best 2 minutes in sports.
And fastest 2 minutes in sports, all of that. And I mean, I had a minor amount of money, and I say minor, it's a little over $5.
Okay.
On the horse that finished second.
Right. Did you watch? That's my first thing. And then, can you name the name of the horse that was the favorite?
I cannot.
I can't. It starts with an F, but I don't remember his name.
I could not name a single horse.
You don't
Even
know
the one I bet on.
You don't know Sierra Leone?
Okay, now that's
the
the one
horse you
I bet on.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
So I want to. I overall out of all my bets, because we bet on the West Saratoga, which was the Bahama trainer.
Sure.
You seen that whole story?
Nope.
Did you watch much of the pre-up?
Zero.
Okay, so a trainer from the Bahamas made it here to America and actually got a horse in the Derby, and so we bet on him because the story was great.
Did they force the horse to smoke weed?
That's Jamaica.
It's in the Bahamas too.
No, I don't think it's the same.
Okay.
The one thing I seen in the Bahamas was
Go on with your story.
an ice cream.
Don't veer off.
There
Go
was
back to the story.
this is a callback to ice cream trucks.
Oh, cripes.
It played death metal while I was driving down the road. It was terrifying. So we bet on that horse, and I bet Win Play Show Sierra Leone.
Sure.
Bet a trifecta, a superfecta, a box. So out of all of them,
Box.
I won $11.
Nice job.
11.8. So I was up a little.
Killing it.
Did you win it? You won some, right?
I did not. No, I literally Sierra Leone to win.
Oh,
It did not.
Yeah, I did Win Play Show on that one.
Yeah,
So
well,
there you go.
You know.
All right, well,
Who won the damn race?
Not the two I bet on. I forget his name too. Like I think his name was Winner of the Day.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway.
Best horse name.
You know, I have no idea.
Who
But
farted?
We will have a winner on this episode.
We are going to have a winner on this episode.
What does someone need to do in order to win on this episode?
So just like in life, to win in life, you have to do the same thing to win in this episode today, and that is pay
attention.
That's
Ooh,
right.
that's costly.
That's deep. That was deep.
It is.
So today, during this show, we had, I'm going to call it a prop change.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's kind of the term.
Agreed.
So for all of the viewers that are watching, as you were watching the television show on
Thanks
your
for watching.
85-inch TV in your living room, Fred. Travis, I think, does it too. My buddy Travis Wigington. Hey, Trev.
Hi, Jeff.
He watches all the time.
Stephanie
too.
Quinlan watches.
On the show.
On her computer monitor.
On the computer monitor. There you go. So
She won't let me get an 85-inch TV. Just throwing that out there. I don't need an 85-inch
So here's what we need.
Yep.
We need a sponsor with some love that understands that Brian should not be deprived of large, giant porn viewing.
Wow.
I'm sure Brian doesn't watch porn. But to be able, well, there is food porn or football porn. You know, that's all like
Whatever you want to call your
whatever you
porn.
want to call your porn. But
Are we going to get banned from YouTube for saying porn?
I don't know. I don't think that's
It happens on TikTok. They always say corn. They do.
Huh.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't-
not watching the same TikToks that I am.
I'm not
apparently.
either, no.
Yeah. Anyways,
Your TikToks you're watching must be corny.
they are.
So anyway,
Continue.
you watch through the show. There's something that is not super big that changed,
Nope,
but
nope.
very important. If you can put it in the comments of what you think changed.
And it is not the level of beverage in the glasses.
Nope, it's not that I re-poured tequila.
Did you? I didn't even notice that. I missed that one.
Wow. So it's a prop change.
Okay, prop change.
It's like if you right now would edit, and through the magic of editing, you will notice that there's been a prop change. This is not the one that I speak of, but it's something like Brian's hat got bigger. It happened.
Huh.
It's amazing. So look for something in the show. It's very subtle. There's a prop change that's important,
It's very subtle.
and it's not the size of his hat.
So what do they have to do to win, Brad?
Put what changed in the comments.
Okay.
And because we've had a winner before and then we didn't know how to get a hold of that winner,
Oh, yeah.
if you could, is there a way to DM us on?
There isn't, but if you give us a way to contact you in your comments.
My phone number's over here.
It is, yeah. It's weird
Okay.
how you don't know where to point. It's always right in
I
front
can't
of you.
see it though.
I am aware of that, but Jesus, it's always in front of you.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to put the comment in there
Yeah.
and then send me a text.
There you go.
that
Phone
you
number
commented.
right there.
You go down there and you put the comment of what the subtle change is. You send me a text that you did it. And if the first person that
No,
gets it right.
I don't like first. I'm taking that out. We're going to have to do a drawing.
Okay.
Because as soon
no,
as
you're
someone
true.
sees an answer, they stop commenting.
No,
We
you're
don't
right.
want
You're
that.
right. So Yeah, but then once somebody sees the answer, they all can comment the same answer.
Who cares? They still have to send you a text message, and it becomes a drawing.
There you go. And then we're going to do a drawing.
So you have to do both things. You have to leave a comment about what has changed here in the show.
And send me a text.
Send Brad a text. Don't send me a text. I don't want your messages.
Send me a text.
Send Brad a text.
Message what changed. Send me a text. And then the next YouTube video.
It's not that challenging.
Well, the longer we talk about this, the more it helps our algorithm text me, because I don't get enough text messages in a day.
I'm sure you do not.
But $25 gift card for Amazon, then you can order maybe a big hat, maybe a tequila T-shirt. I don't know, whatever you want.
Right. All right. Well, on that note, Brad, thanks for hosting yet again. We want to thank you for watching. Thanks for leaving a comment, and thanks for watching this far in the episode. Hi, Fred.
I appreciate the thanks for hosting, but I don't know where else we could have it at a bar like this.
I have a decent bar at my house.
Do you?
I do.
Full backdrop?
Decent backdrop. It's not.
It's got to be full.
I mean, it's really about here to the corner. It would suffice
when
for
you
a road trip.
When you get to 120 bottles,
I'm gonna have to expand the bar.
I'll help you. I got some friends that build shelves.
You got to talk to Stephanie Quinn then. Anyways, on that note, thanks for watching. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Thanks.
See you next time. We'll do that again.